Hello, welcome to the technical walkthrough of the Pasanaku protocol. Pasanaku is a protocol that I've been developing for the last 3 months, and the beta is finally here. So I want to share how it works, how we can use it, especially how the smart contract works, and how I'm planning on improving it. So how it works, Pasanakus or rotating saving systems have had a problem for a very long time. That is, you have to trust the rest of the participants. For example, if you want to save something on a rotating savings protocol, you have to trust the rest of the participants. You have to know who they are. Pasanaku acts differently. So for Pasanaku, you don't have to trust anyone. You just trust the protocol that the smart contract is going to keep the collateral for each participant. So right now I'm going to explain how it works. Then I'm going to dive into the smart contract a little, and you can ask me questions in the comment section. So how does Pasanaku works? So you first have to deposit collateral. So you have to deposit any amount of collateral you want. That allows you to participate in a Pasanaku, depending on how much collateral you have deposited. So you can create one or join one. So for example, let's say you have deposited around 1000 USDCs as collateral. So that is going to start generating yield for you. The moment you create one or join one, for example, the yield that generated that collateral is going to be transferred to you. So you get to keep that yield. And you join the Pasanaku. And the protocol ensures you have enough collateral to cover all of the rounds. So that's from start to end. So you can see here on this graph how that's going to work. So you enter a Pasanaku that is going to deposit you 500. So you have to have around 550 USDCs in collateral, for example. Each month you're going to be depositing another extra 100 each month to participate in the Pasanaku. I'm going to try to automate this process so you don't have to even think or remember you have to deposit. And when you use your turn, you get the 500. So like if you're really early in the graph, you get a yield bearing loan, so a loan that pays you interest. And if you get it at the end, you get a cumulative amount of interest. So you get like extra interest on the Pasanac. So you deposit it each month. It's your turn to receive the round. You get the 500. You don't have to pay anything. You keep depositing the next months. So when the Pasanaku ends, all the collateral used to cover for this Pasanaku generated some yield, and that yield is going to be distributed among the participants, benefiting the last participants the most. So if you were at the end, this is going to benefit you the most. So yeah, that's exactly how it works. Currently for the yield, I'm using Fluid to deposit the USDC. And well, there's a weighted distribution. You can read more about it in pasanaku.fun/about. So yeah, we're going to be going over the implementation. This is a Viper smart contract, and Pasanaku itself is only a single Viper smart contract. So we're going to be going over that. It's actually also on ERC 1155. So each Pasanaku is represented as an NFT. So I think that's really cool. First of all, we're going to be looking at a lot of imports of interface and modules. For the module system, I'm using a StakeMate. That is a Viper smart contract library. You can check it out. And I'm also going to export a few things from the modules that I imported. So here we have a few constants. These are the time intervals for the Pasanakus, some constants to do calculations. There is a penalty for missing payments. You can read more about it in the documentation and in the about page. And here's the actually interesting part. This is the Pasanaku struct. So here we store all the necessary information for the Pasanakus. This also includes the round assets. We're going to see in the deposit function how this works, and a few other storage variables that you can look at it in the block explorer if you want. This is the first function that we're going to be looking at. This is the deposit function, and we're only working with USDC, and this is to deposit collateral in the Pasanaku. So we have that. We have a withdraw. When you withdraw we don't charge any fees, so you can get the yield without any fees. We have a redeem that works similar to how the withdrawal works. And we have the first function related to the Pasanaku. The create Pasanaku, you can create one. It's really straightforward. You create the Pasanaku, you get assigned the token ID, and the Pasanaku also checks you have enough collateral to cover your position. So you can deposit to a Pasanaku on an already active one. And this function checks if the participant parameter in this function is actually a participant in the Pasanaku. So we use the token ID to check that. Why not use the color instead? This is to allow a third party to deposit on your behalf. This is going to be really important to users and also to the Keeper network that we're going to be developing. And you can also join one. This you can join a Pasanaku that has not started and that is not stale. So a stale Pasanaku is a Pasanaku that has been created, but it didn't reach enough participants to start. And if that's the case, the Pasanaku becomes stale and the creator can recover the deposit that they put into that Pasanaku. So you can join one. The join function checks if you have enough collateral to cover all the rounds and that the Pasanaku is not stale. So we do this here for the collateral amount. We do a lot of checks on top. And if the Pasanaku becomes stale, you can leave it. If that is to recover your collateral and don't have to pay any penalties or anything like that. And the tick function is really important. This is what moves a Pasanaku forward. This is going to be called by the keeper. So the keeper is going to be taking all the Pasanakus that he has. Or if you want, you can call it by yourself. If the time interval has passed, you can take it. So this moves the round forward, like you can see in the graph. And this is really important. And yeah, the Pasanaku is really long and has a lot of internal functionality to keep everything in place. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will be happy to answer them. Thank you.